Have you ever woken up from a dream so vivid that for a moment you weren't sure if you were still dreaming? That disorienting feeling where the boundaries between your dream world and what you call reality momentarily blur. What if I told you that this confusion isn't just a temporary state of mind, but actually a glimpse into a profound truth about existence itself? Welcome back to the channel, beautiful souls. Today, we're diving deep into something that might completely transform how you perceive your everyday life. This isn't just another video about manifestation or spiritual concepts. This is about fundamentally understanding the nature of your reality and learning how to consciously navigate between different states of being. By the end of our time together, you'll not only understand why your current experience is, in the most literal sense, a dream, but you'll also have practical techniques to wake up within this dream and shift to any reality you desire. Yes, any reality. The implications of this are far more profound than most spiritual teachings ever dare to explore. So take a deep breath, center yourself, and prepare to question everything you've been conditioned to believe about the nature of your existence. The red pill or the blue pill? Today, we're choosing to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Part 1. The nature of dreams versus reality. Let's begin with a simple question. How do you know with absolute certainty that you're not dreaming right now? Really think about that for a moment. You might say, well, everything feels solid and consistent. I can touch objects around me. My senses are working normally. But aren't these exact same experiences present in your nighttime dreams as well? When you're in a dream at night, do you question whether you're dreaming? Rarely. The dream feels completely real while you're in it. Consider this. Last night when you were dreaming, that experience was your only reality. You didn't know you were dreaming until you woke up this morning. The dream world felt completely real, with its own consistent physics, emotions, and sensory experiences. It was only upon waking that you labeled it just a dream or not real. But what makes your current waking reality any different? What if this experience you're having right now is simply another type of dream? One that appears more stable and consistent, but fundamentally no different in nature. The great spiritual teacher Neville Goddard addressed this perfectly when he said, "For my subjective dream when I am having it is objective. Had I reflected upon this while I had a dream last night, this would have been subjective. When I awaken and I am once more merged in this section of the dream, this seems the only reality. I fall asleep and take this off, and I am merged in another section of the dream, and that seems to be the only reality. So what is the reality?" What Goddard is pointing to is profound. The only difference between what you call reality and what you call a dream is your awareness. Your consciousness focused in a particular section of the infinite dream of existence. Think about it this way. When you're engrossed in a compelling movie, you temporarily forget that you're sitting in a theater or on your couch. Your consciousness becomes so absorbed in the story that for those moments, the fictional world becomes your reality. Your emotions respond as if the events were happening to you. This is exactly what's happening on a larger scale with what you call your waking life. The first evidence that you're in a dream right now is this. Quantum physics has demonstrated conclusively that matter, the seemingly solid stuff of your reality, is mostly empty space. The atoms that make up your body and everything around you are 99.99999% empty space. The remaining fraction that appears as solid matter is actually just energy vibrating at specific frequencies. What does this mean? It means that the solid physical world you perceive is an illusion created by your consciousness interpreting vibrating energy fields. Your senses don't show you what's actually there. They translate energy patterns into experiences that your brain can understand and navigate. The second piece of evidence, the observer effect in quantum mechanics, shows that particles exist in a state of probability until they are observed. In other words, consciousness itself collapses quantum wave functions into specific states. Without an observer, without consciousness, matter exists only as potential, not as definite reality. Does this sound familiar? In dreams, nothing exists until you observe it. The dream world is created in real time by your consciousness. And according to quantum physics, so is your waking world. The third evidence, think about how time works in dreams. In a dream, you can experience what feels like hours or days, yet only minutes pass in waking time. Time is subjective, elastic, and created by consciousness. And increasingly, physicists are discovering that time in our waking world is not the objective, linear phenomenon we've been taught to believe. Einstein himself said the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. So let me ask you again, how do you know you're not dreaming right now? Part 2. Consciousness as the creator of reality. Now that we've established the dreamlike nature of reality, let's explore the role of consciousness, your awareness, in creating and maintaining this dream. Your body, your surroundings, your entire life situation is simply a projection of your consciousness. Without consciousness, there is no material world. This isn't just spiritual teaching, it's the conclusion that quantum physicists are increasingly reaching. As the renowned physicist Sir James Jeans stated, the universe begins to look more like a great thought than like a great machine. And Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness." What these pioneering scientists discovered, and what ancient spiritual traditions have taught for millennia, is that consciousness is primary. Matter is secondary. Your awareness doesn't emerge from your brain, rather your brain and body emerge from consciousness. Think of it this way, you are not a physical being having occasional spiritual experiences. You are a spiritual consciousness having a physical experience. You are not in the world is in you. You are not in the dream is in you. Your consciousness is like a projector in a movie theatre, and your life experience is the film being projected. Change the film and you change the experience. When you're dreaming at night and become lucid, meaning you realize you're dreaming while still in the dream, a remarkable shift occurs. Suddenly, you're no longer bound by the rules of the dream. You can fly, walk through walls, or transform the dream landscape at will. This happens because once you recognize the dream for what it is, you remember your true nature as the dreamer, not just a character in the dream. The same principle applies to your waking life. When you realize that you are not just a character in this reality, but the dreamer of it, you gain the ability to consciously shape your experience. How does this work? Through something I call conscious observation. Your consciousness animates and makes real whatever it observes. By focusing your awareness on any possibility as if it's already real, you collapse that possibility into experience. This is why visualization and feeling techniques work in manifestation practices. When you vividly imagine a desired outcome and feel the emotions associated with it, you're not just thinking about a possibility, you're actually collapsing that quantum probability into your experience. You're choosing which version of the infinite dream you want to experience. This is also the essence of Neville Goddard's teaching about living from the end. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are essentially shifting your consciousness to the section of the dream where that wish is already reality. But there's an even deeper truth here that few spiritual teachers discuss. Not only can you manifest specific outcomes within this dream, but you can also wake up from this particular dream entirely and shift to a completely different reality system if you choose. Part 3, the proof that you are dreaming now. Let's dive deeper into the evidence that what you're experiencing right now is indeed a dream state. I want to offer for you 3 irrefutable proofs that will make this concept undeniable. Proof 1, the malleable nature of memory and perception. Have you ever had the experience where you remember an event one way, but someone else who was there remembers it completely differently? Initially, you might think one of you must be wrong, but neuroscience has shown that memory isn't a faithful recording of events. It's a creative reconstruction that changes each time we recall it. Studies have demonstrated that witnesses to the same event will give vastly different accounts, each believing their version is accurate. Even more compelling, researchers have successfully implanted false memories in test subjects who then adamantly believe these events happened to them. If your memory, the very foundation of your sense of continuous identity, is this malleable and unreliable, how can you be certain that your past happened the way you remember it? What if your entire life history is being created moment by moment, just like in a dream where the backstory seems to exist but is actually being generated in real time? Proof 2. The neurological basis of perception. Your brain receives around 11 million bits of information per second through your sensory organs, but your conscious mind can only process about 50 bits per second. This means you're consciously aware of less than 0.0005% of the information available to you. What happens to the rest? Your brain filters it based on what it considers relevant, which is determined by your beliefs, past experiences, cultural conditioning, and what you expect to see. In other words, your brain constructs a very limited model of reality that you then mistake for objective reality itself. This is why 10 people can experience the same event and have 10 different experiences. Each person's brain is constructing a different version of reality based on what their filtering system allows through. Isn't this exactly how dreams work? In dreams, your mind constructs a reality that feels complete and consistent, but it's entirely generated by your own consciousness based on fragments of memory, emotion, and thought. Proof 3. The quantum nature of reality. At the quantum level, particles exist in states of probability until they are observed. The famous double-slit experiment demonstrates that light behaves as either a particle or a wave, depending on whether it's being observed. This suggests that matter itself is not solid or definite until consciousness interacts with it. Furthermore, quantum entanglement shows that particles can be connected across vast distances, responding to changes in their entangled partners instantaneously, faster than the speed of light, which should be impossible according to conventional physics. These quantum phenomena cannot be explained by our traditional understanding of a solid, objective reality existing independently of consciousness. They only make sense if reality is fundamentally mental rather than physical. If, as the ancient Vedic text stated thousands of years ago, the world is an illusion or Maya. Now, I want you to do a simple exercise with me. Close your eyes for a moment, not if you're driving, of course, and take a deep breath. As you exhale, ask yourself, who is aware of my thoughts right now? Who is aware of my sensations? Who is aware of my emotions? The awareness that can observe your thoughts cannot itself be a thought. The awareness that notices your emotions cannot itself be an emotion. This observer, this witness consciousness, is who you truly are. And just as the dreamer is not contained within the dream, but contains the dream within their consciousness, your true self is not contained within this reality, but contains it. This witnessing awareness is the unchanging background against which all experiences come and go, like the screen on which a movie plays. The movie changes constantly, but the screen remains the same. This is your true nature, the dreamer of this dream you call life. Part 4. How to wake up within the dream, becoming lucid. Now that you understand you're in a dream, the next step is learning how to become lucid within it. To wake up while still in the dream, just as you might in a night dream when you suddenly realize, wait, I'm dreaming. The first key to becoming lucid in this waking dream is cultivating present moment awareness. Most people sleepwalk through their lives, lost in thoughts about the past or future, rarely fully present in the now. This is the equivalent of being completely absorbed in a dream without realizing you're dreaming. Try this practice. Throughout your day, set reminders to pause and become fully present. Notice the sensations in your body, the sounds around you, the thoughts passing through your mind. Ask yourself, am I dreaming right now? And seriously consider the possibility. This is similar to the reality checks that lucid dreamers use to trigger awareness in night dreams. The second key is recognizing thought patterns. Your thoughts create your experience of reality, just as they create the content of your night dreams. When you become aware of your habitual thought patterns, you start to see how they've been shaping your experience without your conscious knowledge. For example, if you habitually think life is a struggle, your brain will filter your perceptions to find evidence supporting this belief. creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is exactly how dreams work. Whatever you expect to find in a dream, you will find, because your expectation creates it. The third key is emotional awareness. Emotions are energy in motion, and they act as powerful attractors in this dream reality. The emotional state you predominantly occupy determines which version of the dream you experience. Fear, anger, and doubt attract experiences that match those vibrations. Love, gratitude, and joy attract their corresponding experiences. By consciously choosing your emotional state, you begin to shift which section of the infinite dream you inhabit. The fourth and perhaps most powerful key is meditation. Regular meditation helps you identify with your witnessing consciousness rather than with the content of your experience. It creates gaps in your stream of thoughts through which you can glimpse your true nature as the dreamer. During meditation, as thoughts and sensations arise, practice observing them without attachment or judgment. Notice how they appear, exist for a time, and then dissolve back into the field of consciousness, just like dream images. With practice, you'll begin to experience yourself as the unchanging awareness in which all these phenomena occur. When you truly realize that you are not just the character in the dream, but the dreamer of it, a profound shift happens. You move from being an effect of the dream to being its cause. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and recognize your role as the creator of your experience. This is what the spiritual traditions call enlightenment or awakening. Not escaping from the world, but waking up to your true relationship with it. It's recognizing that you are not in the universe is in you. Part 5, how to change dreams, reality shifting. Now we come to the most exciting part, how to consciously choose which reality you experience, how to change dreams at will. First, understand that all possible realities already exist as probability waves in the quantum field. You're not creating new realities from scratch. You're selecting which already existing reality to collapse into your experience through your conscious observation. Now, think of it like a television with infinite channels. All the shows are broadcasting simultaneously, but you can only watch one channel at a time. Changing your reality is like changing the channel to tune into a different broadcast. How do you change the channel of your reality? Through a process I call conscious reality selection. Here are the steps. Step 1. Clarity of intention. Get absolutely clear about which reality you want to experience. Be specific. Just as in lucid dreaming, vague intentions produce vague results. Define your desired reality in sensory detail, what you'll see, hear, feel, taste, and smell in this reality. Write this description down as if you're already experiencing it. Use present tense. I am now experiencing rather than I want to experience. Remember, your consciousness responds to what you accept as real, not what you want or hope for. Step 2. Release attachment to current reality. Your current reality persists because as you keep observing it and accepting it as the only possibility. To shift realities, you must be willing to release your attachment to the current dream. This doesn't mean denying what you're currently experiencing. Rather, it means recognizing it as just one of infinite possibilities, no more real or permanent than any other. Practice saying, "This reality is one potential dream among many. I acknowledge it without being bound by it. I am free to choose a different experience." Step 3. The state akin to sleep. Neville Goddard described a state between waking and sleeping called the state akin to sleep, where consciousness is most fluid and receptive to new impressions. In this relaxed, drowsy state, the critical faculty of the mind is temporarily suspended, making it easier to impress new beliefs upon the subconscious. Before sleep and upon waking are ideal times to practice reality shifting because your brain is naturally in theta brainwave state, which is associated with deep meditation and hypnosis. Try this. As you're falling asleep, vividly imagine yourself already being in your desired reality. Feel all the emotions you would feel if this were already your experience. Fall asleep in this state, allowing your subconscious to work on manifesting this reality while you sleep. Step 4, the imaginal act. This is perhaps the most powerful technique for reality shifting. In a quiet, meditative state, close your eyes and create a scene that implies your desired reality is already present. Make it short, specific, and laden with sensory detail. If you want to shift to a reality where you're financially abundant, imagine a scene where you're looking at your bank account showing a balance that delights you, or receiving congratulations from friends about your financial success. The key is to enter fully into this imaginal scene until it feels more real than your physical surroundings. Use all your senses. What do you see? What sounds do you hear? What emotions are you feeling? Make it so vivid that it produces a genuine emotional response. Neville Goddard taught that an imaginal act is an immediate, objective reality. When you perform an imaginal act with complete absorption, you are actually experiencing that reality now, and your outer world must eventually reflect it. Step 5. Persist in the assumption. Having done your imaginal work, you must now persist in the assumption that your desired reality is already yours. This doesn't mean constantly thinking about it, quite the opposite. It means achieving a state of natural conviction where you no longer need to convince yourself because you simply know. Think about things you're absolutely certain of. Your name, for instance. You don't wake up each morning trying to convince yourself of your name. You simply know it. This is the level of certainty you want to achieve about your new reality. When doubts arise, and they will, don't fight them. Simply observe them without attachment. Remind yourself that they're just old thought patterns from the previous dream, and gently return to your knowing. Step 6. Follow intuitive impulses. As you practice these steps, you'll begin to receive intuitive impulses, subtle urges to go somewhere, call someone, read something, or take some action. These impulses are your inner guidance showing you the bridge of events that will lead you to the full manifestation of your new reality. Following these intuitive nudges is crucial. They often don't make logical sense from the perspective of your current reality, but they make perfect sense from the perspective of the reality you're shifting into. Think of it like this. When you're navigating to a new destination, the directions only make sense in relation to where you want to go, not in relation to where you've been. Step 7. The Sabbath. Finally, there comes what Neville Goddard called the Sabbath, a state of complete rest from your efforts. This happens when your desired reality feels so natural and inevitable that you no longer feel any anxiety or desperate need for it. You can rest in the absolute knowing that it is already yours. In this state, you've successfully shifted your consciousness to the reality where your desire is fulfilled. The outer manifestation must follow because the inner always precedes the outer. Remember, you're not changing anything external, you're simply shifting which dream you're experiencing by changing where you place your conscious awareness. The external follows the internal, always. Part 6. Advanced reality shift techniques. For those who are ready to go even deeper, I want to share some advanced techniques for reality shifting that few teachers discuss. The quantum jump. This technique involves making a sudden, complete shift in consciousness rather than a gradual transition. It's based on the quantum principle that electrons don't move continuously from one energy level to another, but jump instantaneously. Here's how to perform a quantum jump. 1. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. 2. Close your eyes and take several deep breaths, relaxing your body completely. 3. Imagine 2 parallel versions of yourself standing side by side. One is you in your current reality. The other is you in your desired reality, already experiencing everything you want. 4. Study this other version of yourself in detail. How do they stand? How do they breathe? What expression is on their face? What energy do they radiate? 5. Now imagine stepping sideways into this other self, merging with them completely. Feel yourself taking on their posture, their breathing pattern, their facial expression, their energy. 6. As you merge, affirm, I am now this version of myself. This is who I am. 7. Stay in this merged state for at least 5 minutes, feeling the full reality of being this version of yourself. 8. Open your eyes, but maintain the feeling of being this new version of yourself as you go about your day. The power of this technique is that it bypasses the gradual process of becoming and moves directly into being. You're not trying to change yourself. You're recognizing that the version of you that you desire to be already exists, and you're simply shifting your awareness to that existing self. The mirror technique. Mirrors have been used in spiritual and magical practices for thousands of years because they symbolize the threshold between different states of being. This technique uses a mirror as a portal to your desired reality. Number 1. Stand in front of a mirror in a dimly lit room. The low light helps to soften your perception and make the experience more dreamlike. 2. Gaze softly at your reflection, breathing deeply and evenly. 3. Begin to imagine your reflection as the version of you who already exists in your desired reality. 4. As you continue gazing, allow your reflection to transform subtly. Perhaps you notice a different gleam in the eyes, a different quality to the smile, a different energy emanating from this reflection. 5. Mentally step through the mirror and merge with this reflection, feeling yourself become this version of you. 6. Turn away from the mirror as this new self and carry this identity with you. This technique is particularly powerful because mirrors naturally induce a slight altered state of consciousness when gazed into for extended periods, making your mind more receptive to new impressions. The pattern interrupt. Sometimes, the most effective way to shift realities is to drastically interrupt your normal patterns of thinking and behaving. Pattern interrupts create gaps in your habitual consciousness through which new realities can emerge. 1. Identify a habitual sequence in your daily life, perhaps how you start your morning, how you react to stress, or how you think about a recurring problem. 2. Deliberately break this pattern by doing something completely different and unexpected. 3. In the momentary confusion that results from breaking the pattern, quickly affirm your desired reality. For example, if you habitually check your phone first thing every morning, instead, jump out of bed, stand in a power pose, and loudly declare, "I am now living in a reality where state your desire." The shock of the pattern interrupt temporarily suspends your limiting beliefs, creating a window for new reality selection. Or if you habitually react to problems with worry, the next time a problem arises, do something completely unexpected, like laughing out loud or dancing. In the space created by this pattern interrupt, choose consciously how you want to respond from the perspective of your desired reality. These pattern interrupts work because they momentarily free you from the hypnotic trance of your habitual reality. They remind you that you are the dreamer, not just a character stuck in a predetermined script. The two worlds technique. This advanced technique involves consciously straddling two realities simultaneously, which creates a powerful bridge for complete transition. 1. Each day, allocate specific times when you will completely immerse yourself in the experience of your desired reality. During these times, you will think, feel, speak, and act exactly as you would if you were already living that reality. 2. Start with short periods, perhaps 10 to 15 minutes, and gradually extend them until you can maintain this alternate reality awareness for hours at a time. 3. During these periods, if someone asks how you are, respond as your desired reality self would respond. If you need to make a decision, make it as your desired reality self would. 4. As you become more adept, begin to blur the lines between your practice times and the rest of your day, allowing your desired reality to bleed into more and more of your experience. This technique is based on the principle that the reality you consistently give your attention and emotion to is the one that will ultimately manifest in your experience. By deliberately splitting your awareness this way, you're gradually transferring your consciousness from one dream to another. Part 7. Common obstacles and how to overcome them. As you practice these reality-shifting techniques, you'll likely encounter certain obstacles. These aren't signs of failure, they're actually important parts of the process, like the resistance you feel when building a muscle. Obstacle 1, doubt and disbelief. The most common obstacle is doubt, the voice that says, "This isn't real," or "This can't possibly work." Remember, doubt is simply a thought from your current reality paradigm trying to maintain its existence. When doubt arises, don't fight it. Simply observe it with awareness. Say to yourself, "I noticed doubt arising. This is a natural part of the transition process." Then gently return to the feeling of your desired reality. Doubt loses its power when you observe it without identification. It's like watching a character in a movie express doubt. You can see it happening without becoming it. Obstacle 2, physical evidence that contradicts your desired reality. Your senses may continue to show you evidence of your old reality. This is natural and expected. The physical world changes more slowly than consciousness because it has more momentum, like a large ship turning. When you notice contradictory evidence, remind yourself, physical reality reflects where my consciousness has been, not where it is now. These conditions are dissolving as my new reality takes form. Then immediately shift your attention to any evidence, however small, that supports your new reality. Perhaps someone made a comment that aligns with your desire, or you noticed a synchronicity, or you feel different in some subtle way. Focus on these signs rather than on what hasn't changed yet. Obstacle 3. The opinions of others. Others may not see your new reality because they're still viewing you through the lens of their expectations-based past. This can be challenging, especially with people close to you. Remember that everyone exists in your experience as a reflection of your consciousness. As your consciousness shifts, either they will begin to reflect your new reality back to you, or they will naturally become less prominent in your experience. You don't need to convince anyone of your reality shift. In fact, it's usually best to keep your practice private until it's fully manifested. Let the results speak for themselves. Obstacle 4. Impatience. The time gap between your consciousness shift and its physical manifestation can create impatience. You may wonder, if I've truly shifted realities, why am I not seeing complete evidence yet? This impatience actually slows the manifestation process because it implies that your desire is not yet fulfilled. It places the fulfillment in a future that is constantly receding. The antidote is to deepen your realization that time itself is part of the dream. From the perspective of your higher self, all realities exist simultaneously. What appears as waiting from the dream character's perspective is simply the unfolding of a reality that already exists in its completeness. Practice saying, "Divine timing is always perfect. My new reality is revealing itself in the perfect sequence and at the perfect pace." Obstacle 5. Fear of success. Surprisingly, many people unconsciously fear the very reality they claim to desire. This fear usually stems from questions like, what will this mean for my identity? Or what new responsibilities will come with this? Or will I be able to handle this new reality? This fear creates an energetic contradiction that impedes your reality shift. To overcome it, honestly examine any reservations you have about your desired reality. What's the worst that could happen if you achieve this? What aspects of your current identity might you need to release? Once you've identified these fears, create specific imaginal scenes that show you successfully handling these aspects of your new reality. This resolves the energetic contradiction and clears the path for manifestation. Remember, these obstacles are not signs that reality shifting doesn't work. They're signs that it does work. They're the resistance you feel as you stretch beyond your familiar dream parameters. Like a rubber band that tightens before it releases, this tension is part of the process of catapulting you into your new reality. Part 8. Living as a conscious dreamer. As you become more adept at consciously navigating between realities, you'll enter a new phase of existence that I call living as a conscious dreamer. This is a profound state where you fully embrace your nature as both the dreamer and a character in the dream. In this state, you maintain dual awareness. You're simultaneously aware of yourself as the infinite consciousness that dreams all realities and as the localized consciousness having a specific human experience. This dual awareness transforms how you approach every aspect of life. For example, challenges are no longer threats to your well-being, but opportunities you've created for your own growth and expansion. You recognize that you wouldn't have dreamed a challenge you didn't also dream the capacity to overcome. Relationships become mirrors reflecting aspects of your consciousness, rather than sources of validation or happiness. You can love deeply while holding others in unconditional freedom, knowing that each person is both a character in your dream and a dreamer of their own reality. Work becomes an expression of your creative energy rather than a necessity for survival. You choose work that aligns with your highest values and joy, knowing that abundance flows naturally when you're aligned with your authentic purpose. Health becomes a conscious collaboration between your mind and body rather than a struggle against illness. You recognize that your physical body is a projection of your consciousness and responds to your beliefs and expectations. Most significantly, fear begins to dissolve. What is there to fear when you recognize yourself as the dreamer? Even death is revealed as simply a transition from one dream to another, with your essential nature remaining unchanged. This state of conscious dreaming is what the spiritual traditions have pointed to with terms like enlightenment, Christ consciousness, or Buddha nature. It's not an escape from the world, but a full awakening to your true relationship with it. The conscious dreamer lives with a sense of playful sovereignty. You take your dreams seriously enough to engage fully with them, but not so seriously that you become trapped by them. You can create with intention while remaining detached from outcomes, knowing that the journey itself is the purpose. You also develop profound compassion for others who are still lost in their dreams, not realizing they are the dreamers. You can see their struggles from a higher perspective while honoring their journey exactly as it is. You understand that awakening cannot be forced. Each dreamer awakens in their own perfect timing. Living as a conscious dreamer doesn't mean life becomes perfect, according to the ego's definition. There will still be challenges, emotions, and mysteries, but these no longer define or limit you. They become the colors with which you paint your experience, the notes with which you compose your life's symphony. As a conscious dreamer, you recognize that the purpose of life isn't to acquire possessions, achieve status, or even attain some final state of enlightenment. The purpose is conscious creation itself, the joy of dreaming and experiencing the infinite possibilities of existence. We've covered a lot of ground in this exploration of reality as a dream and how to consciously navigate between different realities. Let's recap the key points. 1. Your current experience is literally a dream, no different in nature from your night dreams, except in its apparent stability and consistency. 2. Your consciousness is primary, matter is secondary. The physical world is a projection of consciousness, not the other way around. 3. You can become lucid within this waking dream through practices like present moment awareness, thought observation, emotional mastery, and meditation. 4. You can shift to any reality you choose through techniques like conscious reality selection, the state akin to sleep, the imaginal act, and persistence in assumption. 5. Advanced reality shifting techniques include the quantum jump, the mirror technique, pattern interrupts, and the two worlds technique. 6. Common obstacles like doubt, contradictory evidence, others' opinions, impatience, and fear of success can be overcome with specific strategies. 7. Living as a conscious dreamer means maintaining dual awareness of yourself as both the infinite dreamer and the character in the dream, transforming your approach to every aspect of life. The implications of these teachings are vast. If fully embodied, they liberate you from the limitations you've placed on yourself and open you to the infinite potential that is your birthright. But knowledge alone isn't enough. Information without application remains merely conceptual. I encourage you to begin practicing these techniques today. Start small if you need to, perhaps with a manifestation that stretches your belief system but doesn't shatter it. As you experience success with smaller reality shifts, your confidence will grow and you'll naturally expand into more profound transformations. Remember, the only true limits to what you can experience are the limits of your imagination and your willingness to release attachment to what has been. So, beautiful dreamer, what reality will you choose to experience next? The infinite field of possibilities awaits your conscious selection. The power has always been yours. You just needed to remember. If this exploration has resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who might benefit from awakening to their nature as conscious dreamers. Before you go, I want to leave you with one final thought. The fact that you were drawn to this video is not a coincidence. Something in you already knows the truth of what we've discussed today. Something in you is ready to awaken. Trust that inner knowing. It's your true self calling you home to the realization of who you really are. Not just a character in a cosmic dream, but the dreamer of worlds. Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploration. Until next time, May you dream consciously and live magnificently.